How to get an audience of people, a mass market of people that follow you, buy without them even realizing. In this ever-changing industry of the info space, you see constant people come and go. Info business owners come and go because they have not understood the art of selling without their audience even realizing it. After being in this space for over 4 years, I've understood to its finest detail what it takes and what makes someone click and make them want to buy without even them realizing it. You see, the master marketers, what they don't tell you is the selling is done all indirectly. While many of you watching rely on CTAs, on polls, on constant outreach, I do the opposite. And that is why I get days like 13K, 20K days, 25K days over the Dubai skyline. That's why I'm able to have this kind of vacation and this kind of work space. That's why I'm able to have all these DM closes that I have, all these people that are booking in from YouTube. I went to a resort yesterday with my friends. I had a guy that booked on from YouTube. On my way there, I had paid a couple $1,000s for the resort. As I arrived there and take the call booked from YouTube, the resort was already paid. The call that was booked already paid for the resort that I just did. I filmed a video 3 months ago. He views the video from 3 months ago, wants to book on a call and pay me money. The power of marketing. I'll say this once again, realizing and mastering the art of being able to sell to your audience without them even realizing. But to be able to do so, you must first understand and grasp the fundamentals of messaging, who it is that you're speaking to, understanding to its core and finest detail who your audience is, who your market is. For me to be able to sell someone to the DMs and make $10,000, $15,000 days, I must understand what my audience's pain points are. I must understand what my audience's current situation is. I must understand what my audience craves. The moment you understand what your audience fundamentally craves is what you show in your marketing. Why would you showcase something top of funnel lifestyle that has no relevancy whatsoever to what your audience craves? What if you understood what kind of values your audience craves and then you showcase that in your marketing? What if you understood what kind of pain your audience feels and then you vocalize it in your stories? What if you understood what kind of value your audience was seeking and you provided it for free? Give the value, sell the implementation. Give the information, sell the implementation. That is how I've been making my clients millions of dollars. That's how I've generated for my clients over $6 million of cash collected, tracked in every single dashboard that I could think of. Because I've understood that to make money in this space, you need to know who you're speaking to. I know people watching right now, you want to have this kind of lifestyle. You want to be on a 73rd floor. I said it correctly, 73rd floor, the tallest building in Dubai that is residential. And for me to be here for a month on a 2-floor penthouse and film this kind of video to this kind of audience is something that many people will never be able to do because they do not know the steps to take. Well, you're lucky, because in this video, I'll break it down. And not only will I break down the fundamentals of marketing, I'll tell you exactly what kind of lessons and overall ideologies you have to implement for yourself so you can get this kind of experience and results. Let's begin. For you to understand what assets to post, you must understand what triggers a person to buy. What triggers the acquisition? I'll tell you guys right now. The way acquisition is triggered is fundamentally someone being in such an unbearable amount of pain they have no excuse or no other way but to buy. For someone to be on a sales call and pay, and they're so triggered by their pain, and they're in such an unbearable amount of problem that they want to pay you large sums of money, you must accentuate that pain. Imagine someone gets shot in the shoulder, and instead of you recovering it, you're pressing on the wound, but you're doing it without them even realizing. That is what you need to have acquisition going at its finest detail. So how do you start? When you post specific content, your messaging must include the pain points, the problems that your audience is facing. And you must deliver it in such an extensive way that they see how well you understand their situation. The way I can tell you right now, you're posting videos. You're doing what the market is doing, yet the results are not following. Your follower account might go up, your likes and comments are going up, your views are there, but your cash collected remains the same month after month. You're stuck on the outbounds, not knowing if what you're doing is working, and you're even questioning, is the info space worth it? The info space is worth it. However, what you're doing is extremely flawed because you have not understood what? Marketing at its finest detail. So notice how right there, I not only verbalized your pain, I went to its core and finest detail for you to be able to press on that pain The way you now know how to press on your audience's pain. And then what do? Well, once the pain is there and accentuated, you then position yourself as the expert and you say, look no further. You have a problem, I have the solution. Look at all my assets of credibility, look at all my trust-driven content, and look at all my testimonials and client results. And look at my unique mechanism of being able to have a flywheel of content, an ecosystem, the trifecta flywheel going on. Once you position yourself in the market in the right way, and you keep pressing on your audience's problems and pain points, you now have maximum leverage. Why? Why do you have leverage? Why do you have leverage? I'll tell you why. Because now you've garnered the most valuable currency in the entire world. Wiley, what's the most valuable currency in the entire world? What is it? Attention. And once you've mastered attention, you can sell anything indirectly if done properly. Notice how I went from understanding the basic fundamentals of marketing, who I'm speaking to, what the current situation is. Before me even knowing their problems, I must first know the current situation. And now that I know the current situation, I can accentuate the pain so strong and so hard and for such a long period of time through stories, through reels, through my YouTube, that once I garner their attention, I give them part of the information to solve that problem the way I'm doing for you right now. Don't you see that this is the game? This is the marketing game you have to be playing, that these guys making 300-400K a month are not telling you. Enough with just the basic Miro boards. Enough with just the basic videos saying framework 1, 2, 3, copy 1, 2, 3 that your competitor is doing and you're doing the same thing, hoping to get the same results. Enough of that. Be intentional with what you do. Be intentional with what you post. Otherwise, you will get commoditized. Because guys, let's face it, it's 2026. It's March 3rd, 2026. You do not want to wait any longer. How long is long enough until you realize that your methods that you're doing right now are outdated? That your current strategies are outdated, that what you're doing now is not what needs to be done to make your first 50K a month, to make your first 100K a month. So you've garnered your attention. How do you convert it? I will not go in depth to the point as if you're one of my mentees, because then I will be disvaluing the fact that they've paid me money. However, I will go in depth and tell you this, more than most of these coaches already do. For you to be able to convert, you have to leverage fear of missing out. The way I do it is I constantly nurture my audience with the fear of missing out. When you have a problem and you are constantly and repeatedly being shown individuals in your situation that have had the problems but are now solved, do you understand the psychological impact it does to you? Do you understand the pull effect that it has to you? When you see people that have the results that you crave, people that have had the problems that you've had but they've been able to solve it, that makes you intrigued. Next, what do? Is I try and understand what kind of person and what kind of personality and values do they look for. If my audience wants someone that's trustworthy, that cares about their results, that gives value, that is not greedy, that cares about his business, what am I gonna do? I will make sure that my content is around that kind of value and is around those kind of value traits. Because it's pieces of the puzzle. I have the credibility, I have the pain, I have the value I'm giving, I'm missing the personality aspect to tie it all together. And once all the pieces are all together, notice how you're gonna start getting a better understanding of, oh my God, what Jerry's saying is so true. What kind of person am I? Well, here's a mental model you have to do. I want you to write down on a list 10 reasons why someone would wanna buy from you specifically. Go as in-depth as possible. This must take you at least 30 minutes to an hour. Why would someone genuinely pay you money? And once you've written that down, write down, what would you have to say in your content to gather and keep someone's attention? For someone to scroll 20 videos in a minute or 2 minutes, what would you have to say to that specific person, your ideal archetype, to get them to stop and listen? Lead by problems, lead by pain points. Do a market call out. I always tell my clients in my inner circle, do a market call out by leading with their pain points. For example, in the first 3 to 5 seconds, call out their pain points. You're posting content, you're posting reels, you're posting YouTube, and you're seeing reviews go up, yet no cash is being collected, and your setter barely books any calls. Now that I have your attention, let me tell you how to fix that. You don't have a setting problem, you don't have a content problem, you have a messaging problem. Let me explain. My name is Jerry Stuck, bang. Before you know it, you're in the body. You have their attention. You've garnered everything that you had to garner, and you can now give your delivery. You can now give your value. That is how you structure a specific reel to garner someone's attention. And you have to use those value traits that I've just been asked you to write down in your content. You know how to accentuate problems. You know what to include in your messaging. You know what specific assets you need to convert them. You know how to position yourself as an expert in the market by using your unique mechanism, and you know who you're speaking to. Include this in all your marketing, and the playing field will be so unfair to your competitors. Your amount of leads coming in will be so unfair to your competitors that you won't know what to do with it. Have this way of thinking, have this method of thinking in your content, in your marketing, and your business will grow tenfold. Any questions? Text me on Instagram, StekoGP, STECKOGP. If you want to work with me one-to-one, you know what link to press. Please book a call only if you're serious. I will audit your system for free. I will give you the gimmickry. I will give you the value that these guys charge tens of thousands for. I'll give it to you. Why? Because I'm in it for the long run. Guys, I'm here in Dubai. 10K, 20K days. That's been the norm here. You know what you have to do. If you haven't done it, I'll work with you soon enough. Jerry Stecko. Stay blessed. Peace.